So I'm going to start the recording, and it's Tuesday morning, October 11th, and we have a guest with us today. And so we are getting a special presentation this morning about option schools, because believe it or not, you guys are in your last year of elementary school. So exciting. So let's welcome our guests and listen. If you're one of my kids who has permission to keep your screen off, go ahead and keep it off. But if you're one of my kids who does not, please turn it on. Great. And who would like to speak first, Shawnee or Bryn? Shawnee, you're up.
I'll start us off.
Okay, spotlight your screen. There we go.
Good morning. I am Miss Clark. I am your school counselor here at Flex. I'm super excited to get to come hang out with you all this morning. And we have Miss Pearson here as well. We work as a team, so you'll see both of us. You might meet with each of us. Yeah, Miss Pearson, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just want to say good morning, and I will be here to help answer any questions about option schools.
Awesome. Yeah, so in case you don't know, Beaverton School District has what is called option schools. Flex is kind of one, but we're in a different category as the online school. So option schools start in 6th grade and you apply for them. And they all have kind of a specific focus to that school or program. So we're going to talk about those today. I want to start by saying it's a lot of information. We've got lots of time for you to look at information and decide if and where you want to apply. And the slides that I'm going through with you today will also be in Canvas. So don't stress if you're like, wait, I've got questions and we don't have time to get to all of them today. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And actually, I wanted to start with just a quick Canvas tour really quick. So on your Canvas, you should see a square like this. It says Flex Online School Elementary Students. This is our counseling page. So this is how you can find Miss Pearson and I, and a lot of the lessons or materials that we share with you. So you can message us using the Canvas inbox. You can click on this link here, or you can go over to the side where this inbox is and send us a message. Let's see, there's modules are organized by grade level. So you as 5th graders would come down to this 5th grade module. And if you'd like to learn more about Miss Pearson and I, and kind of what we do as school counselors, there's a slide deck in here that will give you all that information. Let's see if there's more I need to share. We've got a really fun virtual office. And if you click around, there are all sorts of resources linked to these images. And then one more thing, down here, these helpful links are mostly for the grown-ups in your life. But this tips for successful online learning, if I can, I'll come and go through this with your class at some point. But if not, I just recommend that you guys check this out. These slides are super helpful in terms of being an online student. And there's a video where I walk you through all of them too, right below. So that's just a quick crash course, how to find your counselors on Canvas. Okay, and then we'll move over here to learning options, and I'll see if I can go into present mode. All right. Okay, so it might feel a little early because we're in the beginning of 5th grade, but it's time to start thinking about middle school. I really like this quote: the best way to predict your future is to create it. Right? So being thoughtful about your future decisions. So as we're talking about option schools, I want you to kind of think about, what are your strengths as a student? What are your interests? And then what we're going to learn about Beaverton Middle School options that are available, and then kind of talk a little bit about the application process. Okay, so what are your options? You don't need any sort of application. Your neighborhood school is always available to you. And while we're going to focus on option schools this morning, I want to kind of emphasize that your neighborhood schools are great schools. You will get comprehensive education there. You'll have kids from your neighborhood in your classes. So those are a great option. You also are automatically enrolled in Flex for 6th grade if your parents don't tell us otherwise. So you don't need to apply again to stay at Flex. Okay, and then we have 4 kind of specialized middle school programs, and that's what we're going to focus on today. And for these, you do have to fill out an application. So there's the Arts and Communication Magnet Academy, which we call ACMA. There's the Beaverton Academy for Science and Engineering, which we call BASE. The International School of Beaverton, ISB. And the Rachel Carson School of Environmental Science. And Rachel Carson is housed within Cedar Park Middle School. Okay, so ACMA, Arts and Communication School, they offer schooling to grades 6 through 12. So you could potentially start there in middle school and finish all of your education there. It's a good program for self-directed learners who have a passion for the arts. If you have a specific artistic skill or interest like music, dance, visual arts, theater, creative writing, this could be a really cool program for you. You need to be able to budget your time well. And if that's something you want a skill you'd like to build, Miss Laws, Miss Pearson, or I can work with you on that and kind of help you out with that. There's a link to an info video made by ACMA to tell you more about their program, and a link to their website. And then any schools that have published like info nights that you can go to at their building, I've got that information for you here. So as we go through these, if there's 1 or 2 programs that look interesting to you, I really recommend that you go to their info sessions if you can with your parents and see what you think before you apply.
And
Okay, so
Ms.
this
Clark,
is
do
our
you want-
art-focused option.
Yes. Do you want to answer questions at the end, or do you want to jump in with, we have a hand raised.
Yeah, let's.
Go ahead, Abby.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Is ACMA an online school or an in-person school?
That's a really good question, since we're an online school. All of these option schools are in person. So Flex is our only online option in the district. But I have it on the slide at the end, but I want to say this too. There's transportation available, busing for anybody living within Beaverton School District to go to these schools. So if you wanted to go to ACMA, but you lived kind of far away, but still within the district, you could get a bus there, school bus.
Mila, what's your question, Mila?
How do we get to the slideshow?
It will be in Canvas in the 5th grade module.
Okay.
And I'll probably put an announcement on Canvas too, so it'll pop up on the front screen. So you can go through it with your parents as well.
Cool.
Do we have any more questions?
Not right now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just zooming through these, so let me know. All right, so Flex, we are K-12, you're here. Our website, I think sometimes once families are here, they don't necessarily go to the website, but there's a lot of good info there. So if you're kind of debating and you're like, I've liked it here, I'm not sure, you might dig in there. Some of these things you've probably already figured out as a student here, but it's really important to be self-directed, which means able to kind of move yourself forward through the coursework. We have a flexible pace and somewhat flexible schedule. We can be great for kids that struggle with a traditional classroom. If you get easily distracted or you're anxious, things like that. Yeah. All right, Rachel Carson, which is located within Cedar Park Middle School, but is its own program. Rachel Carson is focused on environmental science. So if that is something that interests you, this might be a good program to check out. They serve grades 6 through 8, which means this is a middle school program. You would go back to your neighborhood high school for grades 9 through 12. It's good for students who enjoy getting dirty and working with their hands. Working well in small groups is important. They do a lot of group work at Rachel Carson. You can learn 4 years of science in 3 years. So if you're really interested in science in general, this can be a good program. You get to participate in outdoor field experiences, and classes are multi-aged, which means 6th, 7th, and 8th graders can be in classes together, which is a little different than our traditional middle schools. Sorry. Their elective options are band, choir, art, and Spanish, and their start time is 9:25 a.m. I put the start time because in past years, I've had a lot of kids ask that information. So they have also a link to the website there and the info session they have on October 13th, which is this Thursday, and another one on the 25th. And one thing I forgot to say earlier, so while these programs are specialized and have a focus like art or environmental science, you also get all of the normal core classes. So you'll still take an English class, social studies, science, math, all of that still happens in these programs. Ms. Pearson, did you have anything to add about Rachel Carson?
No, just if you're into the environment and science, they do like weekly outdoor field experiences. So some are field trips to like Multnomah Falls, others they're out in the local neighborhood, but rain or shine, they're out there like studying the environment. So if that's something you're interested in, it's a really cool school actually. Yeah, a lot of focus on science and math. So.
All right, we've got the International School of Business. So if you are interested in foreign language, maybe working with like foreign countries or international relations, that kind of thing, as you get older, this could be a really cool program to help you explore that. They serve grades 6 through 12, which means you could go there for middle school through high school. This is good for students interested in learning from an international perspective. Like I said, foreign language. If you want to focus on helping communities, this can be a good program. If you, as 5th graders, you may not have heard about this yet, but they have the IB program. And yeah, they focus on responsible citizenship and taking action. Their school hours are 7:30 to 2:05. They have an info session on October 25th and November 3rd. And these are in person at their location, and you can find their address at the website there as well. Do we have any questions about ISB? You know, I'm throwing a lot of information at y'all. All right, and then BASE, Beaverton Academy of Science and Engineering. If you are one of the few kids that have been to our new Flex location, we are right next door to BASE, so you may have seen their big sign. They do high school and middle school, so you could start there in 6th grade and go through 12th. They have a focus on science, health, and engineering. They do a lot of team and discussion-based learning. Let's see, a lot of this is kind of repetitive as I'm going through it. Teacher-led and investigative teams that foster communication, student engagement, research skills, critical thinking, and problem solving. So this can actually be really good practice for work settings. A lot of times we have to work in groups and collaborate. Their student hours are 7:40 to 2:05. They also have an info session. Theirs are a little bit later, so November 17th and December 1st. And we've got a link to the BASE website there. Am I leaving anything out? Ms. Pearson?
No,
Anything on BASE?
I see Nora has her hand up. I don't know if she has a question.
Awesome. Nora?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go for it.
Do we have to choose one of these?
No, so these are all options. If none of these interest you, just stay on your normal path. You can either stay at Flex or go to your neighborhood middle school. So these are just an option if you're interested.
Oh, okay.
It's a good question. Okay. So just some basic stuff I wanted to make sure to remember to tell you all. Transportation is provided. So if you get into one of these option schools, you can get a school bus there. You have to live within Beaverton School District to be eligible. You all should be in Beaverton School District to go to Flex, so we should be good there. This is really important. So you can only apply to one program. And I'm going to talk about dates, I think, on the next slide. You've got plenty of time, but you need to be really thoughtful because once you apply, that's it for this year. You can't go back and pick a different one. And this is a lottery selection. Every year, I get really kind of sad messages from kids who maybe didn't get into the school that they applied for. So I want to stress this before you even apply. If you don't get in, it does not mean anything about you. It doesn't mean that you're a bad student or they didn't want you to go there. They're literally like drawing names out of a hat. So I just try not to be too hard on yourself if you don't get into the program that you wanted.
Yeah. And then with some of them, like ACMA, if you apply for ACMA and don't get in, there is a second consideration where you can go show them your talent. So you go and try out for the school and show them your art. So if that's something you're really like focused on and practicing a lot, then there is that opportunity as well if you don't get in.
Mm-hmm.
And then ISB, I believe, still does sibling. If you have siblings there, then you'll get in for second consideration.
Yeah, that's a good, I didn't think about that. I don't really talk about or go into detail about second consideration because each of these schools has their own system for how they do that. But yeah, there is a second chance. And you can apply following years too. So if you go to your regular middle school in 6th grade and you decide, oh, I really want to try for ACMA again in 7th grade, you can. All right, so our applications for this open on October 17th. They are hyperlinked here. So if you click on this today, it won't take you anywhere. But starting on the 17th, this will take you to the option school application. And they're not due till December 9th at 4 p.m. So that's what I was saying about you have lots of time to go to info sessions, watch videos, talk to your family, and think about where you'd like to apply. All right, and then that's the same information. This is the BSD Learning Options website. So this has got a lot of information on each of those schools and links to them. And then December 15th is when they send out emails about whether you were accepted or not into that program. And then I put this at the end just so if you go through all this info and you want to talk one-on-one or your parents have questions, you can click this link. And it will go to Miss Pearson and I to let us know that you want to meet over Zoom and chat a bit. You can send a Canvas message or your parents can email too. So I'm going to stop sharing. All right.
Hey, thank you. Does anybody have any more questions? Do I have anyone here today who wants to go into a breakout room with the counselor right now? Oh, you've got a question, Amadi? Go ahead.
I want to know. Is there a way you need to find the slideshow?
Yeah, you wanted a link to the slideshow?
You know, I can probably get that for you. Give me just a second. I could put it in there too.
Yeah, if you put it in, then I'll put it in our newsletter too and give it to them all over the place. All right, is there anybody else here who would like to go talk to the counselor today, since we have the counselors? I don't see any hands raised. Okay. All right. Well, if there's not any more questions or anything, we can let these folks go ahead and take off. Or if there's anyone you wanted to meet with who you saw in the meeting today, Ms. Clark.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your question?
If you're not going to apply for any of those schools, do your parents just put you back into flex school for the next year?
Yeah, actually, if you want to stay in flex, assuming you didn't do like a late admin transfer kind of thing, if you started the year with us and you want to stay with us in 6th grade, just hang out. There'll be stuff that comes out in the spring that asks parents, like, are you planning to stay? And they can just check yes, and then you'll be in.
Yeah, I would apply for ACMA, but because I really like art, but all the schools are in person, and because of like all the stuff that's going on at school, I don't really think I want to go in person.
That's fair. Yeah. And also that reminded me, I want to clarify, like flex does not count as apply, it doesn't count as one of your option school choices. So you can apply for ACMA, and if you don't get in and wanted to stay at flex, you would still have your spot at flex, if that makes sense. All right, let me see. Cool. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. So at this point, we have to talk a little bit about language arts. So we'll probably let you guys go unless you want to meet. I just sent a question to one of my students to see if they'd be willing to meet with you in a breakout room, but I haven't heard back. I'm thinking
Okay.
that was a no because they just left.
Oh,
Okay, sorry, tried. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, and
Bye.
thanks for all that information.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
great.
All. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. All right, my friends. Screens on. I want to go really quickly through today's language arts. In fact, I think I wonder if I can stop the recording and start another recording.